If I can have your attention here in the media center, we're going to roll right into our post-race press conference here for the 23rd annual Boyd Gaming 300 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We're now joined by the crew chief of the race-winning number 18 IK9 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. That's Ben Beshore. Ben, congratulations on the victory. Just walk us through, quite a start to the day and then a much better finish. But walk us through your day, please.
Yeah, obviously it didn't start off very well with having the loose wheel at the start of the race there. We got to look in, see what happened there, do a little bit more research on that. So I'm not really sure the cause of that, but yeah, that set us behind. Took a little bit of a gamble there after the first segment, take the wave around. Luckily got a caution, got back on the tire cycles, and then raced them from there.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open the floor up for questions. We'll start with Jerry and work our way around.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net. They're in the closing laps. Obviously, they're back and forth with Reddick and Bell. And were you worried about how Kyle's car was handling in that time? Because I know he was coming over the radio and saying that he was a few ticks tight when he first came into the pits.
Yeah, obviously I was real worried. The 2 car was really fast. The 20 car was really fast today. We just seemed to be back and forth, too loose, too tight. Thought we were making small adjustments, and it kept swinging one way or the other. Yeah, we definitely weren't handling the best we could have today. We had some deficiencies there, but Kyle did a great job hanging with us and giving us good feedback so we could make the best adjustments possible. The wind there was kind of fighting us too, but that's the same for everybody.
Tom Zaleski, Iron County Today. What was it like? How did Kyle's wrath over the loose wheel motivate the rest of you and the crew the rest of the way?
I mean, obviously you get behind there early, but with Kyle, he's so good that you're able to come back from that kind of stuff. It's not going to be the end of your day. As long as you just stick with it. Luckily, it was early in the race. These Xfinity races are so much shorter, but we had time to come back there and kind of got lucky with the one caution and get back in the lead lap.
Do you feel like you were in an ideal spot after the end of the second stage?
I mean, not ideal. We weren't happy with the car at that point, but at least we had gotten up to third. Those guys were within reach, and we could go race them.
Additional questions for our race-winning crew chief? Come up front here.
Alan Michaels from On Pit Road Racing. Kyle said yesterday that the Xfinity car was evil all day yesterday. So what did you do to get the car uneven?
I don't think we fixed it. It wasn't as good as it needed to be there. We did make some adjustments that just back and forth, too loose, too tight. We just couldn't find a happy medium. We'll have to go back, look at our notes from last year, and for the upcoming races at Phoenix and California, and try something else. I mean, we definitely have some room to improve there.
Justin Schuler, Speedway Media. With some rain coming down, a little bit of drizzle, and then the sun popping out, did that change anything with the car handling? And did Kyle mention anything on the radio?
Typically it does change it here. The wind today was really gusty, so I mean that makes the cars just inconsistent. That, like he just said, evil handling comments. You just never know what they're going to get. They're trying to drive to the absolute limit every lap, and when you have 20-mile-an-hour gusts one lap and a 40-mile-an-hour gust the next lap, they just don't know what to expect. So they kind of have to drive under the limit a little bit just to have a little left, so they don't crash.
Ben, congratulations on the win today, and good luck next week.
Thank you very much.
If I can have your attention here in the media center, we are now joined by the winner of today's 23rd annual Boyd Gaming 300 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And that winner is Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 IK9 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. We'll go straight to questions. We'll start with Davey and then go to Jerry.
Hey Kyle, Davey Siegel with Front Stretch. So before overtime, you were battling super hard with Reddick there in the 2, and then he ended up losing it, getting into Bell, who you were also battling with. And then in overtime, John Hunter Nemechek as well. I was hoping you could tell us about what you saw from your perspective with those respective battles.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on the restarts there in those late stages like that, you're always kind of watching the guys behind you and who those guys behind you are. And you always kind of know that the outside is the protective ground of just being able to hold that guy on the inside tight and be able to slow him down. And, obviously getting down the back straightaway into turn 3, Reddick drove it off in there really far. And I did too, because I had to match him to make sure I could stay side by side with him, not give him any room to be able to slide up in front of me. And when I did that, I don't know if I was too tight with him or not. I don't know what happened. I got to be able to go back and look at it and see. I thought I left him about a quarter car's width worth of room, and which is decent, in that situation with a green-white checker coming up. Ain't nobody going to give anybody an inch. So obviously it's time to go win a race. And I don't know if he lost it or if he slid up. I know that when I start to kind of feel him slide, I moved up and out of the way to try to give him more slide room, and I think he was just gone by then. I don't know. But overall, the next restart, same thing. John Hunter was on my inside getting into turn 3, and he didn't drive it off in there as far. It looked like his car kind of stuck and rolled the bottom, and mine stuck and rolled the middle, and I was just able to clear him with the momentum of the line that I was in. So, that kind of set us back to being able to take the white flag.
Jerry
Jordan kicking the tire side net. 2 for 2. So you're going for the third one tomorrow. But throughout this race, it was up and down, obviously, with loose wheel. You were pretty animated at different times, both early and late in the race. Does that motivate you to get up on the wheel or to get your pit crew, everybody together, and your thoughts on actually coming away with this win when you said the car was going to be evil yesterday?
Yeah, the car was evil again today. Just can't find a balance with these Xfinity cars. I'm either sideways loose or I'm plowing tight. I cannot figure it out right now. So, we were plowing tight there in front of Christopher when we were leading the race. He ran me down and caught me a little bit, and then I was sideways loose, and he ran me down and caught me there at the last run as well. So it just doesn't matter. It seems like I can't figure it out. But guys kept giving me adjustments. We made small adjustments there for the final run of the race and got back on the tight side again. So it's just a knife's edge, man, and you're just seesawing with adjustments. But overall, it's frustrating to come out there in the early part of a race, and when the guys roll through tech and they torque the wheels 2-3 times rolling out to the grid, and then we run 15 laps and we've got a loose wheel. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. The wheels have been torqued, they've been through the tech line, and it just doesn't register in my brain that something like that can happen. So certainly there's going to be some frustration out of that. It wasn't anything malicious. They didn't forget to do it. They said they torqued them twice, so I don't know why it came loose.
Justin?
Justin Schuler, Speedway Media. So about 2 or 3 of the bigger crashes that happened today was basically a guy on the inside losing it and getting up into a guy on the outside. Yet every single time on the restart, especially towards the end, you chose the outside lane. Was that just a better lane going into the first turn?
Well, that's what I meant by earlier when I said that's the protective line. When you're on the inside and you got somebody on your outside, it's easy for that guy on the outside to suck the inside guy around. So when I'm on the outside, I have the opportunity to control the guy's car on the inside a little bit more. So that's why you choose that. It's just a safety thing, so you don't have anybody on your outside, because the right side of these cars is so important.
Kyle, Alan Michaels from On Pit Road Racing. We started clouds. The sun came in. The wind really picked up. How did it affect the car today?
Temperature and wind and clouds and stuff. I thought there towards the end the track tightened up a little bit, but then I was the loosest with 25 to go, that I had kind of been all day. Not all day. I was way looser at the start of the race when it was sunny. So, when the track shades over in 1 and 2 with the billboards and everything over there, it gets a lot of grip over at that end, and then 3 and 4 always kind of sees the sun throughout the entirety, and it's always kind of slick down there. So it was a bit interesting, though, running the bottom, running the middle, running the top. It seemed like you could about go anywhere, so it was pretty racy today.
Any additional questions for Kyle? Go to Jim.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. No, that was a long time ago.
That was.
Motorsport.com. Obviously, the winning the trifecta is not an easy thing to do. You're the only person who's done it, and you've done it twice at Bristol. I was just curious if you were to rank where you thought it was most possible. Where does doing it at Las Vegas come in? I know sometimes you don't have the opportunity based on what races you do, but just as far as a track goes.
Give me more on that. What do you mean?
when it's where do you think it would? If
Where
you
are my best chances to
yeah,
get it
where
done?
would you have thought your best chances of doing that would have been?
Anywhere. So, yeah, I mean, I've won at every track, Jim, right? Okay. So, for me, though, I feel like Vegas is one of the more challenging ones because I'm not great here on the Cup side. You know, we've had some decent runs, a few strong runs. Last year was good for us. In the spring race, we ran second. I felt like we could have given Harvick a run for his money if we ever could have restarted up front, but we never did. And, you know, with this new package, though, with the race and what we saw in practice today and with what we think the race is going to be like tomorrow, it's going to be a whole new different ball game. So I don't know what to expect or how to figure what our chances are for the victory going after a win tomorrow. I mean, I'd like to say, yeah, we can do it, sure. But as far as whether I got a top 5 car or a top 10 car, it's so hard to tell right now with being in the pack and driving around guys and seeing other guys really fast and drive away from you. And then 3 runs later in practice, you drive right up to them and blow them by. So it's hard to give a description on that.
Bob?
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. Along those lines, talking about tomorrow in practice, you kind of squeezed yourself right up there in front of Austin Dillon. I'm curious how that felt because it looked pretty hairy from
Where?
In practice, in final practice. It looked like you kind of squeezed yourself. I think it was in front of Austin Dillon, and I can't remember who was behind, but it looked like it was a little hairy. And I'm curious, like how. I mean, did you feel stable in the pack, and were you just trying to see, okay, how much room do I need to be able to make moves to get in the line?
Yeah, I can't recall your situation. I do remember one time I was blending in, and out of 4, I got up right in front of the 11 and jumped in front of him. He had a head of steam coming, and I pulled up in front of him, and probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but, you know, a teammate, he'll give you a little bit more benefit of the doubt than somebody else might. So, you know, obviously just, yeah, you're trying to figure out how to make runs on guys, and if you can go to the bottom of somebody through the corner, how fast can you complete the pass to be able to get back up in line, because on the straightaways, if you're the guy that's on the bottom lane, you're just going to get run over if there's a train of guys that are on your outside. So it's going to be important to have outside restarts and to be able to get up, and you know, it is the longer way around though, so you want to be on the bottom in the corners and you want to be on the top on the straightaways. So how you figure that out and how you make those maneuvers and find those holes to pop back up into is going to be the trick.
Hi, over here.
Hi.
Anna Michelle Johnson with KPVM TV. I was wondering what would it mean to you to win the trifecta this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. It would mean a great deal. I've won it twice before, both times at Bristol, and you know, to do it here in Las Vegas at my hometown track would certainly be huge. So you know, it'd be right up there with the other 2, being able to accomplish it, and especially with this new aero package and being at a 1.5-mile racetrack. I mean, I've won about everywhere, but Bristol is absolutely one of my favorites, and Vegas is probably not so much one of my favorites. But it would be nice to come out here with we have that opportunity, and it'd be nice to come out of here with that win.
Kyle, thanks for taking the time
Cool.
to join us.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations.